Good morning. We're going to be talking a little bit today about the Statenvertelling, and this is going to be part 8. And we're going to compare this to God's pure perfect word, the King James Bible in the English language. We also have that in German. We have it in Spanish, King James in Spanish. We have King James in Hebrew. We have King James in Greek. We have King James in quite a few languages. But Dutch Statenvertelling, Dutch book, Dutch Bible book, whatever it is, it's all corrupt stuff. So we're going to be taking a look at this today. And part 8 is God's word for the Dutch-speaking people, how the translators treat a virgin. And these were Calvinist translators. 2 of the translators mysteriously disappeared before they translated this book, just before. Kind of interesting. I talked about in part 1 and some other parts. So I ended in part 7 on some Dutch pastors have attacked me for handing out King James Bibles that have some pictures, but the preservation of the word is what is needed for the people. I am the Word, Jesus says. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. So the word is what's important. So we're talking about words now. Of course, some King James Bible did have some pictures, and some images from heaven shouldn't be in a book, and from under the earth shouldn't be in a book. There's some scripture on that. But the preservation of God's word is what is needed for the people. I buy King James Bibles wherever I can get the best prices, on eBay or wherever. I have handed out some King James Bible, and they're a World Bible King James translation, World Bible, and I have handed out a couple of these. But preservation of God's word, that's what's important. That's what has to get to the people. Preservation of God's word. These Bibles, even though they have some pictures in them, I mean, there is the odd picture in here. Here's the picture of Adam and Eve in the garden. And there's Moses with the 10 Commandments. Moses with the 10 Commandments. There's David killing Goliath. Yeah. And there's Jesus bringing someone up, healing the sick. Jesus, I mean, no, we shouldn't have an image of Jesus. There's another image of Jesus. There's where Jesus was born in Bethlehem. Here's Jesus throwing out the money changers out of the temple. So it's true, there's a few pictures. But these same pastors that criticize me for that, I see them watching movies. I see them watching movies with but it's true, these pictures shouldn't be in here. And usually when I give one of these away, I recommend that you cut the pictures out. Because we shouldn't have an image of anything in heaven. I can show you those scriptures, I'll put them on the bottom. Shouldn't have images of anything in heaven. But the point is, God's word does not change. God does not change. His words are perfect, preserved words in this King James Bible. But you take a Statenvertelling, this wicked Statenvertelling, and God's words have changed. We already showed you hundreds of them that change. At least 100, but hundreds, I'm sure. I'm going to go back, we'll go back through and I'll count them all for you, and I'll put that in the very last part of the teaching of the series. Hundreds of them. I buy a lot of these Bibles on eBay. I get the best price possible, and I give them away. Anybody needs a Bible, we give them away free. We give out Bibles all over the world. And anyone ask me, I send them Bibles. Gospel tracts. Need Bibles, gospel tracts? We're going to send them out to you. We're going to get you one. That God's pure, perfect words, the truth. We're going to get you one. God will buy me another one. I'm not worried about it. So, yeah, I have purchased a couple of these Bibles with pictures, and I've given them out in the past because I scrambled. And if someone comes into my office, I scramble, try and find them a King James Bible real quick, and I give it to them, and off they go. So, now that we've looked at one of these, I want to talk about these pastors that have attacked me for it. They've attacked me, but yet in their Bibles, in their Statenvertelling, I'm going to show you pictures of the Illuminati, all-seeing eye, all kinds of pictures, all kinds of diagrams, and their Statenvertelling Bible, these same pastors, these such hypocrites, and they don't have God's pure, perfect words. You know? The Statenvertelling does not have the pure, perfect, without error words of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. The Statenvertelling is a corrupt Bible. It's a corrupt Bible. And yet they're going to criticize me for handing out God's words free to people who want to hear them. Here, listen. I just want to show you what this actually says. Is the redenen des Herren, zij redende zilver gelouterd in een aardensmelterkroos, te zuiver 7 Gij, Herr, zult hen bewaren. Gij zult hen behouden voor dit geslacht, tot in eeuwigheid. Eeuwigheid. So there we go again. The redenen, the words of it's the reden, the reasons of the Lord. They changed, they took away, and they added to God's word. I showed you one of the World Bibles, the King James Bible, but these same pastors that attack me for this have all kinds of pictures and even Illuminati Antichrist symbols in all their Statenvertelling Bibles, all the earlier editions. I don't know, some of the new ones don't have any images, but still. The point being is these things are in the Statenvertelling too. So if we're going to go on images, then by their own words, they've condemned themselves. So there's an eye, all-seeing eye, and numerous pictures that were also in their Statenvertelling translation, which does not have the pure, perfect, preserved, without error words of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in this corrupt Bible. It's not there in this corrupt Statenvertelling. So some of the words, some words, yes, there are some words. Yeah, there's some words in here that were translated correctly. Yes, this is the Staten General Bible for the Dutch-speaking people, that they're used as a common basis Bible, which was printed in 1637. And you notice there's an all-seeing eye in here. I find that very interesting. Now, why would an all-seeing eye be in an official Dutch Bible that claims to be King James? It's not a copy, they call it, like the King James. Then we go on. This is the Bible that is the Heilige Schrift. And I'm not very good in Dutch, but it's got the Old and New Testament. It's called Staten General, which would be the I think it was translated between 1618 and 1619, actually published in 1637. What we're looking for is the Word of God for the Dutch-speaking people. Where's the Word of God? Now, we've got all these pictures in here, and I really get criticized when I give away a King James Bible that has pictures in it. Some of them do World Bibles, and I give them out because of God's Word, not because of the pictures. I mean, you want to cut the pictures out, cut the pictures out. I'm not about to start cutting up a Bible, but the printer published them with pictures. That's all I was available at the time when I bought them, and I bought them. But there's a lot of pictures of Jesus. You see Jesus and stuff in your Statenvertelling, your official Bibles here. So why are those pictures in there? And does it have any relevance to the script? But for the majority, it's been corrupted. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth corrupt fruit. Let's go there. Let's go there. That'll be in Matthew 7:17. A corrupt tree bringeth forth corrupt fruit. So if there's corruption in here, which Dutch pastors deny, oh, no, my Bible's not corrupt. No. Though that's the old Dutch, it's not corrupt. So let's just see here. Let's go to Matthew 7:17. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. So you saw that? Evil fruit, corrupt tree. Okay. Now let's go to the Statenvertelling. See what the Statenvertelling says in Matthew 7:17. Matthew 7:17. Matthew 7:17. Also, een ieder goed boom brengt voort goed vruchten. En een kwade boom brengt forth kwade vruchten. Which is translated in English to, so every good tree brings forth good fruit, and an evil tree produces evil fruit. Huh? Did you catch that? Let's go to Luke. Let's go over to Luke. Let's go to Luke 6:43. Sorry, that's King James Bible. But King James Bible, we're going to go to Luke 6:43 and get our witness scripture. For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doth a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. And then the Dutch Statenvertelling. Get your witness scripture in the Dutch Statenvertelling. Matthew, Mark, Luke 6:43. Luke 6:43. Want het is geen goed boom de kwade vrucht voortbrengt en geen kwade boom de goede vrucht voortbrengt, which is translated to, for it is not a good tree that brings forth bad fruit, and no evil tree that produces good fruit. Dutch English translation of kwade, this kwade word, let's look at that word kwade, Kwade, very carefully. Put that in your translator. Check it online. Ask the internet if you don't believe me. If you don't have an old Webster's dictionary, ask the internet what kwade means. And what kwade means is evil, angry, bad, worse, ill. It doesn't even relate to corruption or corrupt. So why would the Dutch translators take out the word corruption? For the same reason all the English ones do. The same reason all the New English Bibles take out the word corruption. They don't want you to know their book's corrupt. Just like all the New English Bible translators did. These translators are burning in hell, according to Revelation 22:18 and 19. And if you continue to pass on their lies, the chances are you will too. Just ask any Dutch pastor. Don't take my word for it. Check what I'm saying. Ask any Dutch pastor that's using a Statenvertaling or another Dutch Bible. I've asked them all. I've asked all the ones that I know, at least. Not them all. I asked all the ones that I know. They all say to me when I ask them, does your Statenvertaling have corruption in it? No, they say. And they actually, some of them get very angry with me. Is, no, this is God's word for the Dutch people. Or no, they say there's just a couple of mistakes for the few of them that are half honest. They say, oh, it's just a couple of mistakes. But most of them say, no, this is God's word for the Dutch-speaking people. That's a lie. They're lying. They're lying to you when they tell you that. Try to ask, just take some of the things that I put in this video and challenge them with it. And you'll find out how upset they get and how they're lying. No, but you go back to the Hebrew, you go back to the Greek, and it actually means something else. They're lying to you. Try and ask them yourselves. You out there that have Dutch pastors and Dutch Bibles, ask your pastor them yourself. Find out yourself if what I'm saying is true. Now, the King James Bible, we're going to go to Romans. Romans 3-4. Romans 3:4. God forbid. Yeah, let God be true, but every man a liar. So, are you judging me? According to God, I'm a liar. Judge me? Get out your King James Bible and check if what I'm saying is true. Check the Dutch Bible, see how corrupt they are. See if what I'm saying is true. Every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Now, what do you think the Dutch translators would have done to that verse? Let's go to Romans 3:4 in the Statenvertaling. Let's go to Romans 3:4 in the Statenvertaling. Romans 3:4. Dat zij weer doch God zijn waarachting, maar alle mensen legenachtig, gelijk als geschreven is, opdat gij geen gerechtvaardigd wordt in uw woorden en overwint wanneer gij oordeelt. So what that's translated to is that they are far away, but God is true, but all men are lying. As it is written, you might be justified in your words. That's not what it said. And overcome when you judge. When you judge? Overcome when you judge? Zeggen wat je zegt? Judge means to zeggen what thy sayings are to zeggen. If you take thy sayings, which is in the Dutch in the English King James, it's zeggen, or what je zegt. That's sayings. So why did they change that? And look at the very beginning of this, Romans 3:4. That zij weer, which is translated to that they are far away. What is that? What did God say? God said, God forbid. When Paul wrote Romans, he said, God forbid. The Dutch say, change God forbid into that they are far away? Are you kidding me? Okay. So, anyhow, we're talked about virgins. So, where did the virgins go? Where did the virgins go in the Statenvertelling? Did the translators know what a virgin was? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go to Isaiah 7:14. We're going to look at the virgins here. What they did to the virgins. Isaiah 7:14. Isaiah 7:14. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Now you're going to find out that the Dutch didn't mess too much with that scripture because they knew how serious that was. But all of God's words are serious. All of God's words are pure and preserved from this generation forever. The words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth. Preserved from this generation. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord. Thou shalt preserve them forever. Thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. That's right. So Isaiah 7:14, let's look what the Dutch wrote. Let's look what the Dutch translators did with that. Let's just take a look here. Daarom zal de Heer zelf uw leden een teken geven, zegt een maagd, M-A-A-G-D. That's virgin, yeah. Zal zwanger worden. En zij zal een son baren. En zijn naam Emmanuel heten. Which is translated to, therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive, and she shall bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel. So they didn't mess that up too bad, eh? They got the word virgin in there, eh? Now let's go to Isaiah 23:4. Let's go to Isaiah 23:4. We're in the same book here, right? So they have no excuse. Okay. Isaiah 23:4. Be thou ashamed, O Zidon, for the sea hath spoken, even the strength of the sea, saying, I travail not, nor bring forth children, neither do I nourish up young men, nor bring up conceive, and she shall bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel. And what did the Dutch do to that verse? Don't forget, we're in the same book of Isaiah. What did the Dutch translators do? They knew what a virgin was, right? We saw that. They knew what a virgin was. So Isaiah 23:4. Isaiah 23:4. Isaiah 23:4. Isaiah 23:4. Word beschaamd, O Sidon. Want die zee spreken? Ja, de sterkte der zee zeggen, ik heb geen berensnood gehad, ik heb ook niet gebaard, en ik heb geen jongelen groot gemaakt, en geen jonge dochters opgebracht. Which is translated to, be ashamed, O Sidon, for the sea speaks, yeah, the strength of the sea, saying, I have not had a travail, neither have I borne, nor have I raised up any young men, neither have I brought up your daughters. Virgins taken out. They changed virgins to young doctors. Wow. You see? In that same book, Isaiah, they already took virgins out. Let's go to Isaiah 37:32. It gets worse. It gets much worse, friends. Much worse. Isaiah 37:22. This is the word which the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Isaiah 37:22 in the Statenvertelling. What do you think that they did with that? I'm not going to read the Dutch. You can read the Dutch yourself. I'll put the titles in down below, and I'll just put the English here, the translation. Verse 22. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning him. The young woman, the jonkvrouw, they put in Dutch. The young woman, the daughter of Zion, despised you. She mocked you. The daughter of Jerusalem shakes her head behind you. Behind you? Behind you? God never said behind you. God just said he shook her head at you. And changing virgin into young woman again? Shame on these translators. Absolutely shame on them. And God said she despised thee. Here in Dutch she's saying she mocked thee. But anyhow, it's just complete wickedness. Now let's go to Isaiah 47:1. Get another witness. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Now let's see what the Dutch translators did with that. Isaiah 47:1. Dalf af en sit in het stof ge jonkvrouw, Dr. van Babel. Jonkvrouw? That's not a virgin. Sorry, that's not a virgin Dutch. No. Don't you try and twist it. Don't you guys try and twist it now. Especially you pastors out there. You know, which is translated to, I go down and sit in the dust, you young lady, daughter of Babylon. Sit on the earth. There is no more throne, thou daughter of the Chaldeans. For you will no longer be called the tender nor the voluptuous. So according to the wicked Calvinist translators of this book, there were no virgins in Babylon. Only young ladies? Are you kidding me? Let's go to Isaiah 62:5. Isaiah 62:5. For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiceth over the bride, so shall thy God rejoice over thee. Let's go to the Staten Vertelling and see what they did there. Isaiah 62:5. Isaiah 62:5. Isaiah 62:5 is want gelijk een jonkvrouw troot. Jonkvrouw? That's not a virgin. Sorry, don't try and twist that one too. For which is translated to that's how God in vrolijk zijn. For as a young man marries a young woman, so shall your children marry thee. And as a bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so will your God rejoice over you. Okay, let's just get out of Isaiah for a bit, and we're just going to zip over to Jeremiah. You're not going to believe what I found in Jeremiah. Wow. Jeremiah. You're not going to believe what I found there. Jeremiah 14:17. Therefore thou shalt say this word unto them, let mine eyes run down with tears night and day, and let them not cease, for the virgin daughter of my people is broken with great breach, and a very grievous blow. Now let's go to Isaiah 14:17 from the Staten Vertelling. Let's go. Daarom zalt hij dit woord tot hen zeggen. Mijn ogen zullen dan tranen nederdalen nacht en dag. En niet op goden. Want de jonkvrouw der dochter mijns volks is gebroken met een grote broek en plaag. Dit zeer smartelijk. Which is translated to, therefore you shall say this word to them, my eyes shall come down with tears night and day, and shall not cease, for the young woman of the daughter of my people is broken with a great break, a plague that is very grievous. Plague? A very grievous blow, but plague, they changed that. And virgin to young woman? Whoa, they're really messing this up. They're really messing with God's word, guys. They're taking away and adding to God's word like crazy. Besides, a young woman, I know lots of young women that aren't virgins. Don't you know young women that aren't virgins? Yeah, they go in the abortion clinics every day. Unmarried young women that aren't virgins. Yeah. So it's not a virgin. Don't you be changing God's word. Don't you be changing God's word. Go to Jeremiah 18:13. Jeremiah 18:13. Let's go there. Jeremiah 18:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, ask ye now among the heathen, who hath heard such things? The Virgin of Israel hath done a very horrible thing. The Virgin of Israel? It's got to be pretty important if God's talking about his land and his chosen people, right? The Virgin of Israel? Let's see what Jeremiah 18:13 did. Let's see what they did in the Statenvertaling. Daarom, zo zegt de Heer, vraag nu onder de heidenen, wie heeft als zulks gehoord? De jonkvrouw Israëls doet een zeer afschuwelijk zaak. Therefore, thus says Yahweh. Oh, well, I guess that's the Lord. Maybe the translator did that. Therefore, thus says Lord, the Lord. Ask now among the nations, who has heard of this? The Lady of Israel is doing a very horrible things. The Lady of Israel, Jonkvrouw, that's not a virgin. It's just a lady. Just a lady doesn't mean it's a virgin. Many, many more virgins are missing in the book of Jeremiah in this wicked book. Yeah, this corrupt book. Let's go over to Job. Let's go over to Job. I can stay in Jeremiah for a long time. There's a lot of stuff in there, but this video will go on forever if I keep mentioning all the things in Jeremiah. But they took out the virgins, changed the virgins. Let's go to Joel 1:8. Let's go to Joel 1:8. Lament like a virgin girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. Now let's go to the Statenvertaling and see what they said. Joel 1:8. Kermt als een jonkvrouw, die met een zak omgord is van weg. De man van haar Yud. Cry like a lady who is girded with a sack because of the man of her youth. Cry like a lady, jonkvrouw, or young woman. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Wake up, guys. Wake up. These translators are corrupt, and they've corrupted God's word. They're burning in hell, according to Revelation 22:18 and 19. Don't follow them. Let the Holy Ghost lead you to all truth. Amos 5:2. Let's go to Amos 5:2 now. Let's go to Amos 5:2. Amos 5:2. The Virgin of Israel is fallen. There you go. Virgin of Israel. That's got to be important to God, right? All his words are important, but the Virgin of Israel, he's mentioned in Israel, is really important to him. She shall no more rise. She is forsaken upon her land. There is none to raise her up. Now let's go to the old corrupt Statenvertaling here. See what it says. Amos 5:2. De jonkvrouw Israëls is gevallen. Zij zal niet weder opstaan. Zij is verlaten op haar land. Er is niemand that haar oprekt. The young lady of Israel is fallen. She will not rise up again. She is abandoned on her land, and there is no one who raises her. Stay in Amos for a bit. Let's go to Amos 8:13. Let's get a witness scripture here in Amos, the book of Amos. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Amos 8:13 in Statenvertaling. Amos 8:13 in Statenvertaling. En te den dag zullen de schoene jonkvrouw en de jongeling van dorst versmaken. In that day shall the fair ladies and the young men quench their thirst. Virgin gone again. Now, how was, let's get out of virgins for a bit, because we can go on there, but how was the word study translated into Dutch? How do you think that was translated into Dutch? Now, you can say studie or bestuurden. You know, we are to study. We are to study to show ourselves approved unto God, a workman, right? So we're to study witches and sorcerers too, because your God told you to. We're to study about them. We're to study about them. We don't follow them, no. We study about them, so we know and we're warned about them. So let's go to Ecclesiastes 12:12, and just look at this. We're just going to look at this word study a bit.
And further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness to the flesh. Well, that's pretty straightforward, eh? But let's see what the Statenvertelling said. See what the Statenvertelling says in Ecclesiastes 12:12. Ecclesiastes 12:12. In what boven dezelfde is, mijn son, wees gewaarschuwd, van vele boeken te maken, en is geen einde, en veel lezens is vermoeiing des vlees. Translated to, and what is above them, my son, be warned, to make many books is no end, and many readings are fatigue of the flesh. So let's just look at what this really says here. Many readings. Is that what God said? Many readings? Did God say study? Or many is there a word in Dutch for study? Yes, there is. I showed you that. Did the 1600 translators have a word for study? Yes, they did. And it wasn't readings. It wasn't readings. It wasn't lessons. It wasn't readings. You can read something and not study it. I've read lots of books I haven't studied, just read them. And that's what people are doing with this. Reading it, passing on the words, they're not studying it. You know, I read this book, this King James Bible. I read it several times through. Several times through, yeah. Actually, more than several times through. I've read it quite a few times through. And but the first several times I read it through as a young child and a young adult, I never studied it. I read it through. I never studied it. But just maybe the translators who are just getting you to read this book and not study it. There's more to just reading this book. They're studying it. We're instructed to study by God. Maybe their readings were with tarot cards. Yeah, maybe they got that related to tarot cards. Think about that. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians 4:10-11. 1 Thessalonians 4:10-11. First Thessalonians 4:10-11. And indeed ye do it toward all brethren which are in all Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more, and that ye study to be quiet, and do your own business, and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you. Now, what would the Statenvertelling do with that verse? Statenvertelling. 1 Thessalonians 4. 1 Thessalonians 4. 1 Thessalonians 4. 10-11. Want gij doet ook hetzelfde en al de broederen die in geheel Macedonië zijn, maar wij vermanen uw broeders, dat gij meer overvloeding wordt. For you also do the same to all the brethren who are in Macedonia. But we admonish you, brethren, that you become more abundant. Huh? Where'd study go? Where'd study go? Okay, verse 11. Oh yeah, verse 11. En dat gij u benaarsteed stil te zijn, en uw eigen dingen te doen, en te werken, en met uw eigen handen, gelijk wij u beloven hebben. And that ye try to be quiet. Try to be quiet? Where did study go? Huh? I don't see study there. And that ye try to be quiet and do your own things and to work with your hands as we have commanded you. Let's get another witness scripture here on study. 2 Timothy 2:15. 2 Timothy 2:15. 2 Timothy 2:15. Is study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Study to rightly divide the word of truth. You don't rightly divide this book or any
you don't rightly divide this book in any language, you're going to get really messed up in your doctrine. Really messed up. And you're going to mess a lot of people up. And the chances are that, unless they read their Bibles themselves and study their Bibles themselves and let the Holy Ghost lead them to all truth, they won't have the truth. The truth will make you free, right? Jesus says, I am the truth. If they don't have the truth, they don't have the right Jesus. You better be very careful, guys. So, let's go to Staten Vertelling here. 2 Timothy 2:15. 2 Timothy 2:15. Benaarstig u om uzelf God beproef worden stellen in arbeiden die niet beschaamd wordt, die het woord de waarheid rechtsneemt. Be diligent. Be diligent to try yourselves. Try God. The translator messed that up a little bit, but it's the words. A laborer who is not ashamed, who straightens the word of truth. Straightens the word of truth. Is that what God said? And he said, study benaarstig. Huh. Okay. Now we're going to just go back a minute to 1 Thessalonians 4:11, because I want to show you that in some of the other Bibles too. You study to be quiet and to do your own business and to work with your own hands as we commanded you. And the Staten Vertelling is een dag u benaarstig stil te zeggen, te zien, en uw eigen dingen te doen en te werken met uw eigen handen, gelijk wij u beloven hebben. And that you try to be quiet and do your own things and to work with your own hands as we have commanded you. But in het book, let's look in het book now. Let's look in het book, what it says, because I've got it written down here. Let's look in that book. In that book, this gets very interesting now. Let's just look at this for a second. Zal u volledig in ruste leven te leden bemoei. En met uw een zaken en verdien uw eigen boterham, zoals we dat een eerder hebben gezet. Which is be fully committed to live a quiet life, interfere with your own business, and earn your own sandwich, as we have said before. Wow. Now let's go to BB, a basic Bible in Dutch. I just wanted to show you that one. Blijf ook rusten, je werk doen. Ik wil dat jullie je eigen brood verdienen. Dat hebben wij jullie al eerder gezegd. Keeping your work quietly. You see, they took study to work. They put study to work. I want you to earn your own bread. We have said that before. So what did these other Bibles mess us up so bad? And they're all the same. All these Dutch Bibles are the same. Everyone says, "Oh, don't." Staten Vertelling pastors say, "Oh, don't read that book. It's a wicked. It's just a book. It's just a book." This is just a book. The Staten Vertelling is just a book. Are you kidding me? You don't even study to be quiet. Gotta shut your mouth and be quiet because you haven't studied. So Philippians 2:6-7. And we're going to go on to something else here. Okay, Philippians 2:6-7. Who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal to God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, made in the likeness of men. Let's see what the Staten Vertelling did with this verse. Philippians 2:6-7. Die in de gesteltenis God zijn geen roof gehaakt, heeft God een gelijkt te zijn. Who being in the form of God did not consider it robbery to be equal to God. Who being in the form of God did not consider it, maar geeft zijzelfen vernietigt
de Verniettigd, de gestaltenis eens deens knechts en gekomen hebben in de mensen gelijk te worden. But he has destroyed himself, having received the form of a bondservant, and is made like unto men. Now, reputation is reputatie in Dutch. Not vernietig, which is destroyed. He destroyed himself? God destroyed himself? Are you kidding me? We're speaking about Jesus Christ here. He destroyed himself? You gotta really be kidding me. These Dutch translators are just wicked. Talking about Jesus Christ, and the Dutch are saying he destroyed himself? So 1 Timothy 3:16. Let's go to the controversy. 1 Timothy 3:16. And without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. God was manifest in the flesh, justified in the spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, received up in glory. And what is the Staten Vertelling do to that verse? Let's just take a little book here. Let's just take a little look here. In buiten alle 12, de verbondheid der Godselect is groot. God is geopenbaard in het vlees en gerechtvaardig in het geest, is gezien van de engelen en gespredikt voor de heidenen, is geloofd in de wereld, is opgenomen in heerlijkheid. And beyond doubt, the mystery of godliness is great. God is revealed. Careful with that word. Revealed in the flesh. That's exactly the way it translated it. Justified in the spirit, seen from the angels, preached among the Gentiles, is believed in the world, recorded or included. I'm not sure what kind of word they used there, but it wasn't God's word. Recorded or included in glory, revealed in the flesh. Revealed in the flesh? That's the same as all the New Catholic Bibles, of which some also say appeared. There's no manifest. He wasn't manifest in the flesh according to the Dutch. He appeared or was revealed in the flesh? Are you kidding me? Anybody could have been there. See, how could he have been born if he just revealed in the flesh? So let's study, not just study, but the word witch and sorcerer, like we spoke of. Let's study that. And to do that, we're gonna go back to Exodus 7:11. Exodus 7:11. Exodus 7:11. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. And what do you think the Staten Vertelling would have done to that? We're looking for the word sorcerers.
Man shall be ruled by law, not by the will of other men.
Who is this God that I should let your people go?
Aaron, cast down my staff before Pharaoh, that he may see the power of God. In this you shall know that the Lord is God.
Janice.
Now might need some help here because I'm having a lot of trouble with this because there's so many meanings to a word, but I've checked all these meanings out, and we're going to go to Exodus 7:11. Basis Babel for no, let's go to Staten Vertelling. Pharaoh nu reed ook de weesden en de hulichelaars en de Egyptische tovenaars deden ook also met hun bezweringen. Pharaoh called also the wise men and the hypocrites, and the Egyptian wizards also did so with their incantations. And basis, let's just go to basis Babel because this is interesting too. Toen roep de Pharaoh de Egyptiërs geleden de tovenaars. Zij deden voor goed toverkunsten hetzelfde. Then the Pharaoh called the Egyptian scholars and sorcerers. Interesting. They did the same through their magic arts. And then het boek is toen ontbound de Pharaohs zij geleerden de tovenaars en zij deden hetzelfde wonder door hun magic. Then the Pharaoh called his scholars and sorcerers, and they did the same miracle through their magic. Why did the Statenvertelling call it Gelukenelaars? You know what? I need a little bit of help with that one, but it just doesn't look right. I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. So now let's Exodus 22:18. Let's look at Exodus 22:18 because we're talking about witches and sorcerers. Exodus 22:18. Exodus 22:18. And first we're going to get a King James Bible here. Exodus 22:18. Exodus 22:18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Now what is a witch? What is a witch? Now, a witch would be, let's look at definition number 1, which would be a woman thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones. Now, we're going to see some real interesting things here. Popularly depicted as wearing a black cloak. Oh, funny, a lot of the modern apostles do that. And pointed hat. And they like to wear hats in church too. And flying on a broomstick. I'm sure they probably do that if they go too. And number 2, a more informal meaning would be an ugly or unpleasant woman. You know. Now a wizard, on the contrary, is a man who has magical powers. Now we're going to look back there. If a wizard is a man that has magical powers, and a witch is a woman, that tells us something, right? So let's go to the Statenvertelling and see what that says, verse 18. Exodus 22:18. De tovers zult geen niet laten leven, which is, you will not let a wizard live. Okay? But the English King James says a witch, which is a phenomenon. A phenomenon. I mean, a woman. A female. So why would you call it a wizard? God says, you shall not suffer a witch to live. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Why would the Statenvertelling call it a wizard? That's male. Even if it means sorcerer somehow, it's still male. Because a sorceress is female. You see? You see? You see how they added to and took away from God's word? Exodus 22:18. In het boek. Een tovenaars moet worden gedood. And this is very interesting. Het book is a sorceress must be killed. At least it's female, right? So the het book actually gives God more glory than this wicked Statenvertelling. And all the Statenvertelling pastors are saying, oh, it's just a book, don't read it. It's just a book. Why does it give God more glory than your Statenvertelling? Right? Sorceress must be killed, right? Sorceress, female. A witch is female. Deuteronomy 18:10. Deuteronomy 18:10. Let's get another witness scripture. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. Or a witch. Is that Statenvertelling? Let's see what they did there. onder u zal niet gevonden worden de zijn son of zijn dochter door het doet doorgaan die met waarzeggen omgaat in goochelaar of die volgen geschreef act geven of tonevar. There shall not be found among tonevar by you that means either wizard or sorcerer, male. Okay. Now there shall not be found among you who cause his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, who deals with fortune telling, a hypocrite, or who speaks like a bird, or a sorcerer. A bird speaks like a bird? Where did this come from? These guys are insane. Now let's find out what Gulukers actually means. If you put Guichelaars, Guchelars, it means hypocrites, gossipers, sorcerer, which is male, not female. But God said witch. God said witch. They're not talking about witches here. Deuteronomy 18:10. Well, I can go to head book. I'm not going to go to head book. I'm just going to go to. I'm going to go to the next one here. Is the head book says a fortune teller actually instead of a sorcerer. So I'm going to go to Daniel 2:2 in the King James here. Daniel 2:2. We're going to go somewhere else. Daniel 2:2. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. Now let's go to Staten Vertelling. Let's go to Staten Vertelling. Toen zeide de koning dat men roepen zo de tovenaars en de sterrenkijkers en de Guchelaars en de Chaldean om de koning zijn dromen te kennen te geven. Zij nu kwamen en stonden voor en zeggen de konings. And the king said that the magicians and the stargazers and the hypocrites, which are gossipers, it can be translated to, and the Chaldeans should be called to show the king his dream. And they came and stood before the king. Now, you know what? We're going to go to head book on that one. We're going to go to head book on that one because I got to show you guys something here. All these passages say head book is just a book. Is He ontpont meten al gelerden, bezweerders, tovenaars en astrologen. Zij moesten hem zou dromen verklaren. He immediately summoned all scholars, enchanters, sorcerers, and astrologers that had to explain his dream. Head book, right? Head book, right? So why are Staten Vertelling pastors telling you head book is just a book when it translates properly where the Staten Vertelling fails? Why would they do that? So let's turning to John. We're going to turn to the book of John now, and we're going to talk a little bit about the beast here, because the beast is behind. Beast is definitely behind this book. This is an Antichrist book. It's an Antichrist book. It's a corrupt Catholic text. Turn to the book of John, and we're going to go look at the beast there. Okay, Revelation 13. We're going to Revelation 13 to look at John. John who wrote the book of Revelation. And we're going to see if they turn John into the beast or not. This wicked Staten Vertelling. Revelation 13:1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. That's John. I stood upon, that's John. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Now, this book, this verse is corrupted by all modern Bibles. All modern, well, corrupted by modern Bible versions. Not necessarily all. There's a couple that, I think a Jewish one or something that doesn't, or a couple of them. And what they do is they put, and the dragon stood on the sand of the seashore. All the New English versions there, the New English versions, they put, and the dragon stood on the sand of the seashore. Or they take out the part of John standing in the sand. They take that right out, all the New English versions. Now the Dutch Bibles also cloud John's testimony. Why would they do that? Why would you want to cloud John's testimony? Unless the beast is your God, your father? The Dutch Bibles also cloud John's testimony. They also take away John standing on the sand of the sea. The Statenvertelling not only removes John from the sand, but removes crowns and adds royal hats. Change crowns into royal hats. Koninklijk Hoden instead of kroon. They had a word for crown. They had a word for crowns. Kroon or crowns. Friends, this Bible is guilty of Revelation 18. Revelation 22, 18 and 19. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, that if any man shall add to these things, Statenvertelling's been added to, God shall add unto him. You got a Statenvertelling? God could very well add unto you the plagues that are written in this book. Is there plagues written in the Statenvertelling? Yes, there is. You want the plagues of this book? Then you better be led to all truth, the King James Bible in the English language. Because you Dutch people, you all speak English. You all speak English. You have no excuse. No excuse. You haven't studied to show thyself approved. Verse 19. If any man shall take away from the words of this book, of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from all the things which are written in this book. You're going to be taken out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things that are written in this book. At least ye repent. Especially you Dutch pastors that are deceiving all the people. You're in such serious trouble. You are in so much trouble. Oh man, you better wake up before you die. Daniel 7, 9 to 10. We're going to look at Daniel 7, 9 to 10. We're going to look at that. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. Let's see what the Statenvertelling did with that one. Daniel 7, 9 to 10. Daniel 7, 9 to 10. Dit zag ik, totdat tronen gezet worden, en de oude van dagen zij zet. Wiens kleed wit als de sneeuw, en de haar zijns hoofds als zilverwol. Zilverwol? Zijn troon was verwonken, deszelfs radaren in brandend vuur. And I saw until there were thrones, and put the ancient of days, whose garment was white as snow, and the hairs of his head as pure wool. His throne was a fiery flame, a raging fire of his own. And the Ancient of Days did sit. They said, put? The Ancient of Days? No. Whoa. Anyhow, Jesus was put instead of sits. Jesus was put instead of sits. Where are Christ's wheels in Dutch? I don't see his Christ. But why was he put instead of sits? That's exactly what the New English Bibles did. All the Catholic texts. The Catholics slipped that in. You got a Catholic Bible that's Statenvertelling. They didn't understand what it meant, so they took it away from the Word of God. Let's go to Ezekiel 1:16. Look at a little bit more about wheels. Ezekiel 1:16. 1:16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. And the Statenvertelling, this is, I need a little bit of help with this one. This looks really weird, De gedankte der radaren in derzelfden maskel was als de verf van de turquoise. En wir hadden innerlijk Helikenus. Daartoe was hun Dante en hun maskal. Alsof het were een rad. Is rad a wheel? I'm not sure the rad is a wheel. Rad in het midden en van het rad. The appearance of the radar, rags, that's what the Dutch translator's translating this for me into radar, rags, for the radarin. And the like was like turquoise paint. These four had a similarity. For this purpose, their shape and their work was like a row in the middle of a row. And their work, I don't know. But anyhow, let's look a little bit more about wheels. I don't know what the radar in, if it's a wheel or not. It doesn't translate to a wheel in the translator. I don't know why, and we need to know. We need to know if they corrupted God's word even more. Ezekiel 1:19. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went behind them. And when the living creatures were lifted from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Statenvertelling says, als nu de dieren gingen, gingen de rederen bij hen. En als de dieren van aarde opengegeven werden de rederen opengegeven. 19 is when the animals went, the raids went with them. And when the animals of the earth were lifted, the radar raids were lifted. It seems weird. I need a little bit of help with that one. If there's a Dutch pastor out there who wants to be led to all truth, Holy Ghost is leading you all truth, please contact me and we'll work on this together. Judges 5:28. Now we're going to go to Judges 5:28. We're going to look at something a little bit different here about the wheels. The mother of Sisera looked out the window and cried through the lattice, "Why is his chariot so long in coming? Why tarry the wheels of his chariot?" Dat is een statenvertelling. De moeder van Sisera keek uit door het venster en schreeuwde door de trelen: "Waarom vertoeft zijn wegen te komen? Waarom blijven de ganger zijner wegen en achter?" Which is the mother of Sisera, looked out through the window, shouting through the bars, "Why does his chariot keep coming? Why do the corridors of chariots left behind?" Why do the corridors of chariots? Oh, man. But anyhow, she looked through the lattice, and here she looked out shouting through the bars. Cried through the bars. I could need some help with that one. But anyhow, the corridors of the chariots? But anyhow, if I can get a Dutch pastor out there, Holy Ghost leading you in all truth, I'd love to work with you. I'd love for you to help me out here with some of this translation. Really appreciate that. So you don't have to be a pastor. Just a Dutch person that's really interested in the truth. That's really good in Dutch and English. That'd be really helpful. But anyhow, stay tuned for part 9. Where is God's Word for the Dutch-speaking people and New Version lovers? The German connection. Was Luther's 1522 Bible used? And was Martin Luther saved? And which Bible did he translate the New Testament from? He did that in 11 weeks. Frederick of Saxony, a friend of him, a friend of his, he was about to be probably burned at the stake by the Catholic Church. But Frederick of Saxony kidnapped him. He pulled off a hoax kidnapping, and he took him to his castle. And in 11 weeks in the castle, probably at candlelight all night, Martin Luther worked for 11 weeks and translated the New Testament into the German language. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys in part 9. And have a beautiful day. May the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God, bless you in all truth.
pulse?
Nothing.
Charging at 200.
Clear.
Go, go. Go again.
Charging at 300. Clear. We got her. She's back.
You're not gonna die. We're not gonna let that happen. Watch that monitor.
devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. And the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.